Hi, everyone, and welcome to my presentation. My name is Zach Sizek, and I'm an associate head coach here at Lake Superior State University. Today, I'll be presenting on something that I'm very passionate about, and that is the goalie's perspective from the penalty kill. My plan for today is to lay out some clear roles and responsibilities for the PKers and the goalies, so we can all be on the same page. And especially this is geared at people with not so much of a goaltending background. So I often hear that we say that the goalie is the most important penalty killer. And if that's the case, I would like whoever's watching this to take take an honest evaluation here and ask yourself if your goalie would know, would they be able to explain what your end zone penalty kill structure is? Would they be able to explain the shape of your penalty kill? Would they know the net front D responsibility when the puck goes to the goal line, when the puck goes into the bumper? How does your structure change from a 1-3-1 to a spread, to a jumbo, to any other various sets? If you have any question that your goalie might not exactly know what's going on, they probably don't. So something that I'll stress throughout this presentation is the importance of dialogue and just asking your goalies what they see and what are things that give them issues when on the penalty kill. I've got a couple goals for this presentation. As mentioned earlier, the first one here is to provide insight from the goalie's point of view on the penalty kill. We're going to see different situations that I feel that help the goalie, but also are some situations that the goalie really struggles with. A big part of this is showing the similarity in reads and roles on the penalty kill between the goalies and players. And a big one here, this is not meant to be a presentation about coddling goalies. It's very much, there's a lot that's in the hands of the goalie. And hopefully this presentation shows areas where goalies need to be held accountable and some non-negotiables for goalies on the penalty kill. And then lastly, we'll finish up with discussing some tactics to let the goalie track the puck while on the penalty kill. We'll go through three main objectives here. And the first one will be the importance of posture. More meaning how the goalie should look when they're making a save, no matter what the situation is. We'll talk about some goalie reads and what might compromise posture. And then lastly, we'll hit some structure and maybe a way or two that we can help aid in our goalie's process to tracking the puck so they can make saves with posture. So the first thing we'll hit on posture here. Posture to me is explosiveness to arrive early to spots. And at the same time, it's also arriving to spots with balance. What I mean by that, a goalie should be able to be ahead of plays. And when they get to their spots early, they've beaten the play. And then when they get there, whether they're on their feet, if they're on their feet, their feet are underneath them. They're in an athletic stance with their knees bent and their chest up. If they're in a butterfly, which we'll talk about here on the next slide, they have their knees driving together. We can see the logo, which we'll talk about here shortly, but they should have both urgency, explosiveness, and some balance when they get to that spot. And then we'll eventually see the domino effect if they do not arrive to a spot early or with balance, because we'll see how recovery does suffer if we don't do that. Some key words that will be said throughout the clips. For posture, will relate to knee drive, which is simply in our butterfly is the goalie driving his or her knees together. If they're doing that, we're probably going to see that their butt is up off the heels of their skates. We're going to see the logo. So here at Lake State, we want to see the anchor as much as we can when one of our goalies is making a save. And then lastly, we're going to talk about tracking into pucks as opposed to stabbing for pucks or reaching. We're going to see a lot of clips here of Carey Price, who I believe is one of the best goalies in the world. He's also one of the best goalies in the world, really, at getting to his spots early. He works really, really hard so he can find windows to find the puck. So in this first clip here from the playoffs, we have Kucherov, one of the most dangerous players in the NHL. We can see here that Carey Price is making the save with good posture. We can clearly see the logo. His butt is up And we can see that we have a knee drive right there, allowing him to fill as much surface area of the net as possible. And we'll see one just at live speed right here. We see the save. And because we had good posture, now we see the recovery. We talked about that domino effect. Carey Price is able to maintain with his chest up and his butt up. So he is not reaching on this recovery. He is not sprawling. He's not on his butt. He's not on his chest. He's able to have an efficient push and an efficient recovery. We'll see a couple from this past season from our goalie, Merrick's mittens. Right here, we clearly see this shot from the outside. We have our butt up. We can see the logo behind the glove and blocker, and we have a good knee drive. Very similar clip right here. Knees are driven together again, the butt's up, and we can see the logo. Oftentimes, this happens through traffic. So we can see Carey Price working hard to find his lanes. This pass comes across the Royal Road right there, and we can clearly see. We can see the logo. We can see Carey Price's butt is off the heels of his skates, and we can see good posture because of the knee drive. And lastly, a good clip right here of mittens at the end of the season. We talked about the importance of arriving to your spots early with explosiveness and with balance. Because of this, he's able to get to a spot on his feet. And when he goes to choose his save selection, we can clearly see that Merrick's has his chest up. We can see his logo, and he's covering as much surface area as he can to make that save. So that's how we want it. That's how we want our goalie to look when we're making save, whether it's 5-on-5, it's penalty kills, power play, whatever it might be. That's what we want the goalie. That's how we want the goalie to look like when they make their saves. There are some things that compromise this, specifically on the penalty kill. We're going to see clips coming up of traffic, and that might be stationary traffic. That might also be traffic, which I'll call a flash screen. We're going to see something very undervalued, in my opinion, on power plays is tracking the passing route sight for the goalie. We're going to talk about the difference of shot hands and how that drastically changes the goalie's skating mechanics to get to one spot or the other. And then lastly, more so with the shot hands, we'll show a clip or two of why long passes can be so hard for a goalie on the penalty kill to get to his spot, to his or her spot, maintain posture, and have a good knee drive and see the logo. So the first, we'll see 3 views of it here. We're going to see a goal here in the Winnipeg-Montreal game. Clearly here, we can see Jake Allen's in net right now. We can see that 27 for Winnipeg has released this puck. And at the time of release, we can see that Jake Allen cannot see this puck, and this puck's going to go in the back of the net. We've got a couple more views right here. And towards the end of this presentation, I will challenge coaches to think about what is something that we can do right now at this standstill to help our goalie make this save. I think most coaches with the puck at the point right now would really accept a shot from up there that it's not going to go in if the goalie can see it. But just within a half a second, now we have that flash screen. We'll get one more look. That's going to be a tough save for our goalie to make. We'll see another one with Carey Price. We see the flash screen. We'll get a very good look right here at the point of release from Victor Hedman right there. Carey Price cannot see the shot. He cannot see the shot release because there was a flash screen. And we're going to look at the posture. We showed a couple really nice clips of Carey Price with having good knee drive and seeing the logo. We can clearly see right here that Carey Price was trying to look around a screen. So when he drops, his legs have spread apart. His balance is off center, and we can see that now his butt is going to start to sink to the ice. And for a guy who's well over 6 foot, his frame does not look that big in that clip right there. So again, another challenge here is how can we help our goalie right now? If a shot is coming from there on the penalty kill and our goalie can see the puck, we're probably going to be okay giving up that shot. But just in a half second here, you can see what happens when we have a flash screen. A couple clips of stationary screens here. Again, how can we help, in this case, Freddie Anderson out? probably be okay. If the goalie can see that puck right now, we're going to make that save more times than not. But because the Winnipeg forward does a nice job getting in front of the net, this puck is going to squeak through. Is there something that we can do to help out our goalie? In another situation here, we can see Carey Price at the point of release right now. He's not going to be able to see this puck. And we can see that Kyle Connor, when he shoots this puck, it's kind of he's in a goofy situation right now, I think, in terms of his feet. He's probably not in an ideal scoring situation to score on one of the best goalies on the planet, but it still goes in because Carey Price cannot track the release of the puck. So something that we'll talk about now, and I'll call it passing route sight, something that I said earlier that I think is very undervalued on power plays. And it's very critical that the goalie can track the passing routes to not fall behind the play. We'll see the domino effect that happens, that if you're late in a passing route track, chances are the goalie is going to be late in their save selection reaction. A great clip to start off here. So we'll start back right here. We're going to watch Carey Price. Carey Price has done his job to start right here. We're going to see his depth. He's going to end up getting to a fine spot. Heels are going to be right on top of the crease. He's challenged plenty. Right now we can see the puck. This is where goalies get into trouble often on the penalty kill. We talk about these long passes and these one-timers. It looks like a great goal. I think a goalie is going to make this save if they can see the puck more times than not. What happens here, because Blake Wheeler gets to the net front and does a good job in front of the net, Carey Price cannot fully track the passing route. And what's going to happen here, that domino effect, if we cannot track the passing route from the passer to the receiver for the shot release, we are going to be behind the play. Carey Price gets behind the play and the puck's in the back of the net. We'll see another one here from the Toronto-Vancouver game. We're going to see David Riddick in the back right there. We see that arrow pointing up. He is not in a very explosive stance right now. He's standing straight up in what we call a tall stance. And we see a lot of layers. He has to look through a lot of things right now because he's not going to be able to fully track this pass to the receiver for the shot. He's going to overslide his shot for an easy rebound goal. Now I'll put this a different way. So we see again, Riddick is in that tall stance. We see we've got 4 to 5 layers for Riddick to look through right now. My question would be to coaches is our net front D one going to block this shot very much? And second, what really is the goal right now of the net front defenseman? Because if this net front D leaves our Vancouver forward in front of the net, even though Riddick is going to make this save, we mentioned he's probably going to be behind the play because he cannot track the passing route. We see a Vancouver forward wide open at the net front to bang it home. We'll see another one here. Carey Price has lost sight of the puck because no one's helping him out at the net front there. Tkachuk does a really nice job at screening right there. Because Tkachuk has a nice screen, Carey Price is standing straight up. He is not in an explosive movement. And we're really going to see, because he's standing straight up and not in an explosive stance, we're going to see how this affects his skating mechanics. This puck is going to go to the flank right now. And we're just about to, the Calgary guys just about to tee off on this one-timer. And Carey Price has to use what we call a T-push. He's opening up his hips. So right before this shot's about to come, Carey Price is not in a very, comfortable stance to make this save. And now a puck's going to leak through him, all because we cannot see this puck to start. So the hips open up, the puck squeaks through. And one more right here. Oh, excuse me. We see Grubauer. We have some traffic. It's going to drastically change because of this long pass. It's going to drastically change his route to get to the puck. So as this Arizona player is going to shoot, we see this lefty with the puck on the dot. Grubauer still opening up his hips right now. It's very uncomfortable to try to make a save like that.